All right, everybody, welcome to BestofNWF's Raw After Show, November 2nd, 2015. Now, pretty much this Raw could have been called the Roman Reigns show because it was all about Roman Reigns. We start off Raw with Roman Reigns trying to cut a promo yet again. I mean, they keep throwing him out there. He keeps having the most awkward promos ever. And I'm real sick and tired of people saying, well, he's gotten better. Since when has that been the standard in WWE? I remember when there was a time when only the best even got close to having a shot. Not, oh, this guy's got potential, or, oh, this guy, well, he's gotten a lot better. No, it used to be the best fighting against the best. And I don't understand what happened to WWE where it got so soft, because it used to be a real competition to see who could outdo each other. And in this day and age, it's all about who WWE wants instead of who is actually the best. So Roman Reigns comes out, Rollins comes out, the Authority comes out. They set up a Survivor Series match for this Raw. After that, we have Dolph Ziggler versus Kevin Owens, which both these guys are awesome in the ring. But at the same time, seeing them fight against each other for no reason, I don't like that. I would rather them save this match for something meaningful. Of course, Tyler Breeze comes down, continuing his thing with Dolph Ziggler, and KO picks up the victory there. This Tyler Breeze thing, I don't really get. I think Tyler Breeze should have picked on somebody else, someone different, someone very stiff, not someone that you kind of compare him to in Dolph Ziggler. After that, we had a lot of backstage segments, and that run the gamut of everybody. Nothing was too solid or stood out really at all for that. After that, we have arguably the guy who got one of the biggest ovations of the night, Cesaro. And then you have a guy like Cesaro just fighting The Miz, which is good. You know, he's beating a former WWE champion and all that. But, man, Cesaro deserves so much more. Cesaro is ridiculous. He has gone to the next level. And like I said earlier, talking about when WWE, the top of the mountain, used to be the best of the best, Cesaro is at the... He should be at the top of the mountain because he is among the best of the best right now in the business today. And I can't wait until he just friggin', Swiss Superman friggin' takes over the WWE, because that will be amazing. So after that match, Cesaro picks up the victory, obviously. We have the Wyatts come down to the ring, and what pretty much came down to is them explaining that they've taken the supernatural powers of both The Undertaker and Kane. This is something that should have happened years ago. Bray Wyatt's one of the few people, yes, he was on NXT, but when he debuted on the main roster on Raw, there's very few people that can debut and just have it. And Bray Wyatt's one of those guys. Other guys have kind of grown into the role, but Bray Wyatt showed up with it. He already abducted Kane before, and he just had a match against The Undertaker at WrestleMania. And they could have been playing this up for the past few years. He could have been one of the hottest things going. His Wyatt family could have grown. I'm happy they're starting it now, but I feel like they've missed a lot of time on Wyatt. He hasn't won a big match, and he hasn't shown his teeth yet, so I'm really hoping that this is the impetus to kind of kickstart that, because he's great on the mic and he's great as a presence, and he's good in the ring too. He's always showing something new, and he has a Wyatt family, and they're such a strong unit. They really need to build on this. They did the whole thing, fireworks, lightning, whatever. So I'm hoping the Wyatts going forward, if there is the rumored Team Undertaker versus Team Wyatt, I really hope the Wyatts pick up the victory there, because Wyatt has lost too many big matches, and it's time for the age of the Wyatts to come to be. So after that, we had the Lucha Dragons versus Bad News Barrett and Sheamus. And, every time I see the Lucha Dragons, or I see the Ascension, or I see Neville, I always think to myself, man, I wish they were back in NXT because the Lucha Dragons in the Ascension were dominant tag teams. They weren't just tag teams in the division, they were dominant champions. Now they're on Raw, they're pretty much a joke. Neville pretty much is like Rod Van Dam. He just wins a match, he loses a match, nobody gives a shit. So you have the Lucha Dragons, which they've just shit over just all over the place. They could be a real hot tag team. Same with the Ascension. The Ascension were awesome in NXT, and they tried to change them, bringing them up to the main roster. Like, why'd they even bring them up if they didn't have real plans for them? And that's what I'm hoping going forward. Nobody gets called up from NXT without a feuds, like, for at least 6 months, like a 6-month plan to get them over. So pretty much as I'm watching this match, I'm thinking, you have your babyface, lucha tag team, their fan favorites, colorful attire, cool moves, going against Bad News Barrett and Sheamus. I'm figuring, they're just gonna lose. And to my surprise, the Lucha Dragons actually won. And Bad News Barrett, I really had high hopes from him, like back in the NXT Nexus Invasion thing, and that was awesome. But he's had so many starts and stops, and he's not that charismatic to where it's like he can overcome it easily. He's going to need something really amazing. He was like at the top. He was like almost champion, and now he's just a kind of a joke. And the same thing goes for Sheamus. Sheamus was goofy Sheamus for so long, and he was so stale, and he was out there so much that even though like when he came back for this latest run, he was gone a while. Just still bored of seeing Sheamus. I just don't care. I mean, I've seen him so much and so many goofy times, like it takes his edge away 100%. So I don't know what they're going to do with that. And like I said, I'm surprised the Lucha Dragons actually won. So going from something weird to something even weirder, you have, Alberto Del Rio, the new U.S. champion with Zeb Coulter, the Mex America thing, and it just doesn't fit. I totally see putting ADR with a manager. He kind of needs one. Not that he's bad on the mic, but to someone get him some real heat, he definitely needs a manager to do so. I don't think Zeb Coulter's the right thing. I mean, hey, I'm down for going along with this and seeing where it goes. With the Mex America thing, it's awkward and clunky, and I don't really understand it, and it doesn't jump off the screen like some other angles they've done. I do want to make a side note. They did have a backstage segment before this where Jack Swagger actually questioned Zeb Coulter, and it's one of the few times WWE actually follows up on their history, whereas the history actually matters. Usually week to week you're supposed to just forget what happened last week on Raw, except for what we replay 100 times because we're going in a different direction every week. So it was nice to see Jack Swagger questioning Zeb Coulter. Interesting that they even did that because WWE usually just ignores that kind of stuff. So ADR picks up the victory on R-Truth. Great career, been around over 15 years. That could have been for a young guy, just be in the ring with ADR. Truth, I just don't see why even put him out there anymore. I don't care about R-Truth at all, so that's whatever. So after that, we have New Day backstage, which is week after week the best part of Raw. So they're backstage. So Seth Rollins, they get on the team. So you have Seth Rollins' team with KO and the New Day. So far that was pretty awesome. I was happy to see that. And I think that was pretty cool because you also have the Xavier Woods coming back. And, I'm hoping they moved on from the Dudley Boys feud because that was kind of a letdown. But they're always entertaining. And after that, we had a little quick segment with Sasha Banks. And, she is definitely a total package as far as the women go. And this leads right into the Fatal 4-Way to find out the number one contender. You have Becky Lynch, Brie, Paige, and Banks. And, I think we all knew that Brie didn't have a chance. I think hopefully the Bellas are far, far away from anything at the top of the women's division going forward. And I was real interested to see where they were going to go, because they did acknowledge in the backstage promo about the crowd's been chanting, "We want Sasha." And a couple times in the match, Paige and Becky were going at it pretty hard, and I was really hoping that out of this match we could have two marquee women feuds going. You could have Sasha Banks, win this match and go against Charlotte for the title. That could be a marquee feud, and they definitely showed it in NXT that it's possible. And then you could have the real grudge match between Becky Lynch and Paige, just hard-hitting action, and you could have two totally separate women's storylines at the same time, something they almost never do. This match was alright, it was serviceable. The crowd in Denver was so dead, it kind of killed everything in the whole night. So you have a lot of back and forth, a lot of singling it out. In the end, Paige picks up the victory. I'm fine with it. I mean, if anyone's going to go against Charlotte, I'm just happy it's someone that's a seasoned actual wrestler, than opposed to a Bella or one of the models. So I'm fine with Paige, winning this match and being the number one contender. And it really got me thinking of who really is my favorite women or woman wrestler ever. And I tried to think back of who I really liked. I always liked Ivory. I always thought she was really great. But when I really think about it, I remember Medusa, but she didn't really wrestle that much. And I always liked Mae Young and Fabulous Moolah, but they were way too old for me to watch. I think Paige might be my favorite because she's good in the ring, she's great on the mic, she's great as a presence. I mean, I don't know if anyone can kind of compare to that. Hopefully she has some better feuds going forward now that they have better women's wrestlers up at the top of the card. So, Paige and Charlotte, but hopefully there's another feud coming out of this and we just don't have this one match. We could have two distinct women's feuds at the same time. So after that, we have our Survivor Series match. We have the New Day with Kofi, Xavier, and Big E, Kevin Owens and Rollins versus Roman Reigns, and they didn't announce anyone else that was going in the ring with him. You have the Usos returning, which it was really funny. Michael Cole was all shocked that the Usos were returning, and 2 seconds later he plugged their ESPN. They were going to be on ESPN tomorrow night, so I thought that was pretty funny. Like, you sound stupid. And I don't know how that slipped by, but that was ridiculous. Then also you have Ryback and Ambrose. I'm happy it was the Usos, not the Dudleys. Ryback, kind of an uninspired choice. I think maybe Neville would have been better in that spot. At least he could have maybe pinned someone, hopefully. But I want to say about the Usos is I like the Usos. They're a great tag team, but they are so stale. They've had no character development. They just come out, smile. Oh, we're the Usos. They do their dance. I mean, but there's no character development. So yeah, they're fun to watch. It's kind of like the New Day. They were just smiling, whatever, and nothing was special about them. But now they're so damn entertaining. The best part of Raw, they've grown so much, and the Usos, they just haven't. And I don't really see that out of them. I see them kind of staying at this level forever. I don't see any spark or fire in them to kind of change that up. Hopefully I'm wrong. I like to see them paired with Roman Reigns because they are family. So whenever Roman Reigns is getting beat down, it's kind of silly to think the Usos aren't coming out. I know WWE tries to hide the lineage between all the Samoans, but I think they should kind of play it up because I'm sure if your cousin was in the ring getting beat down, you'd probably go and help. So this match was kind of standard. I think we all kind of know how it played out. Xavier got eliminated in the first couple seconds for a comedy bit. And this really went down to Roman Reigns being Superman and, kind of clearing house. Ended up in the final moments of the match. It was Roman Reigns and Ambrose versus Rollins. Ambrose, one of the few people that gets a true babyface pop when he comes out. Nobody's booing Ambrose, but of course Ambrose is always playing second fiddle to Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns gets his continued stale reactions. it's just kind of sad to see, that side of it. We have Roman Reigns, which is he's just not ready. He's not the best, so he shouldn't be having a chance at the title. You have the Usos, so stale, no character development. You have Ryback, which was on the rise, and his Intercontinental reign was kind of flat, and now he really is nothing, so he's deflated. And then you have Ambrose, which could have been one of the hottest things going if the end of last year they kind of pushed him in. If Ambrose would have won the Rumble, that could have been a whole different ball game right there. So, but of course, when it came down to Rollins, Roman Reigns, and Ambrose, Rollins grabs a chair, disqualified, into the match. There's kind of some more beatdowns in there, and that's it. So Raw kind of ended kind of so-so. I definitely say the best part of Raw still is the New Day. Unicorn horns are definitely in full effect. I just want to see the Wyatts really pick up on this and start really taking people out and being an unstoppable force. I want to see like the Ministry of Darkness level dominance. Cesaro definitely needs something going out of this. Stardust has been in the crowd watching him. That's not Cesaro deserves to be where Roman Reigns is right now, because Cesaro is probably the best wrestler in the company right now at this moment. So hopefully going forward we see more of him, because his crowd reactions keep getting bigger. Hopefully there's a shock and he wins the Royal Rumble, or so. Hopefully there's some big plans for him, because they could really ride that wave of momentum that they never seem to do. One more quick thing, they were showing little snippets of past Survivor Series, and they showed last year where Dolph Ziggler won it for Team Cena, and they never capitalized on it. What did he do at WrestleMania? He was in the ladder match for the Intercontinental. Come on. He should have rode that wave of momentum all the way to WrestleMania. But of course, they never follow up on stuff like that, and it hurts everybody. That's why Sheamus is so stale. That's why Bad News Barrett is so stale. That's why even Del Rio, he came back, but he didn't decisively beat Cena. All that stuff is so muddied after years of these non-pushes, start-stop, 50-50 booking stuff. It's really hurt a whole generation of guys. So, but anyway, for Best of NWF, that's it for our Raw After Show. We'll be back for NXT on Wednesday.